Hello, and welcome to my Terrafirmagreg series. I've been playing this mod pack for quite a while, and I've been having a lot of fun with it. I recently saw a series by, I believe his name is pronounced Singe, and it looked like a lot of fun to, make videos on this, explain how all the factory processes that I'm building and all that work, talk to people in the comments and all that, so I thought I'd give it a shot. And I'm aware that, most mod pack videos start with, well, the start of the pack, but Terrafirmagreg is very different from the other mod packs that I've played. It's not something that I have any interest in restarting. Everything in this pack is incredibly difficult, at least for me. I mean, this is my first time playing nearly every mod in this pack. This is my first time playing Terrafirmacraft, my first time playing with GregTech for real. It's existed in packs that I've played, but I never used it. And this is my first time using Create for anything other than just making some cool looking doors. And, those are the main mods, at least that I've used so far. So, I'm very new to all of this, and it's really given me a sense of accomplishment for just about everything that I've made. Everything in this pack is so difficult. And I'm proud. I'm proud of the world that I've made, of everything that I've built. And yeah, I've decided to make videos on it. So right now I am headed to build an automatic rubber sheet line. So I can stop having to make them manually. Where I just was, that was the greenhouse, and underneath it is my tree farm. Well, my tree tapping farm, that's the regular tree farm. What I've been doing is collecting steel drums full of latex, bringing them here to this. This is actually the first building that I built. This was my original forge room, which actually still has said forge. Putting it in the vat and putting in the sulfur and mixing it all up, and then carrying it over here. This is my steam workshop. Up the stairs, and using the vacuum chamber, which is actually a part of the vacuum tube line, which is, not what it's for. And it's a very manual process for what's supposed to be an automation pack, which I would like to not ever do this again. So I'm going to be building a rubber sheet line, and I have an area picked out down here at the tree farm. I haven't finished building this whole building just yet. Still need to, make some more walls and whatnot, but I was planning on putting the rubber sheet automation somewhere around here in this wide open floor space. The reason for that is that one of the two ingredients for making rubber sheet, one of the three ingredients, I guess, for making the rubber sheets is already here, which is the wood to power the oven, which powers the vat, which is where the latex, the vulcanized latex is made. It's made right here in the vat. Sulfur powder, I don't think there's any way to automate this without just, automating mining in general. So that would be something I'll have to put in whenever I want rubber sheets, but the rest of it should be fully automatic. And the other part of it, which is the latex itself, is, down there underneath the greenhouse. But I don't think that's a very nice area. It's just kind of a giant hole that I dug in the ground, and I don't want to build more things there. I had to put the trees down there because it gets too cold where I live for the Kapok trees to actually produce latex. Actually, I don't think it gets too cold. I think it is always too cold for it to produce latex. So I had to put them down there at bedrock, and that's just the location where I put it. So what I was doing at the very beginning of the episode was grabbing these steel drums full of latex, just for testing, really. And then later I'll build the pipeline to carry the latex from the underground tree farm over here to the creosote area and what will soon be the rubber sheet line. As I've learned, taking my manual machines off the line and using them to put it in anything automation is a bad idea, because then I'll inevitably need to use the manual machine again, and then it will be part of an automation line, and it'll be just very annoying in general to access. So, how did I make a vat? It was just like that. Okay, that's very, very easy for the progression level that I'm at right now. I think I just have all of that on hand, don't I? Yeah, I do. I think I got the number wrong. It was 3 of those and 2 of those. Yes, that's the vat. And then I think I'm actually just going to steal one of my 3 existing ovens from the forge tower. I don't need 3 ovens. I only need 2, really. 1 for the vat and 1 for food. Don't ask why I have 3 ovens. I do not remember. Yeah, here we go. Yoink. Okay. Yeah, this'll do. This is the outside of the tree farm. I think it looks nice. I've seen memes online about the so-called Greg cube, so I've tried very hard to avoid that. You see, most of my builds have really anything to make them not a cube. The greenhouse is a circle. A lot of my other builds have slants in them. And yeah, that's really what I'm trying to avoid. Is I'm trying to make everything interesting, not just with block variety, but with shape as well. Visuals are very important to me in Minecraft. If I was here for just pure efficiency, I wouldn't be here. I'd be playing Factorio, which I do play, but I don't try to make things look good there. I just try to make them as efficient as possible, which is not my goal in Minecraft. It should be efficient, but it should also, you know, look very cool while doing it. Okay, so yeah, so the latex will come into the vat. Can I see the... Yes, I'm gonna need an oven hopper. Where are you? There you are. That's just a bottom oven. If you're curious, the drinking noise is my mining helmet, which is drinking out of this steel drum full of water, which I learned about from a meme in the TFG Discord of someone posted a guy drinking just a comically large glass of water. Nope, that's not where the clay is. I've been putting off getting organized because I know once I hit LV, I'll be able to make a create logistics system, and that just sounds a lot easier than trying to sort all of my chests. As you can see, I actually already have rose quartz and exquisite rose quartz, which is, I thought I could do a little bit of a skip, and you know, I ventured all the way up north in an ill-fated expedition that unfortunately killed my horse, which is very sad. I really liked that horse. His name was Horsepower, because I used him on the animal crank. I miss that horse. But yeah, I thought I could skip needing LV because of this recipe. I thought the bottleneck was needing to get the sifter and also the lathe in order to make the rose quartz lens. And I was like, oh, you can just do this with create vintage improvements with the vibrating table and the polisher. So I did that. No, you need the laser engraver in order to make transmitters. It's not at all optional. So that's electricity, which I haven't gotten to yet. I technically could. I mean, I have that tank completely full of creosote. I could use that to make syngas and all that, but I'm taking things slow. I like taking things a little slower in this. I'm in no rush. You know, the mod pack isn't even done yet. You know, I'll get stopped at some point if I rush. So what's the hurry? I'm enjoying the Steam Age. That's the oven hopper, and the other one was the ashtray. Sealed bricks. Cool. Wait, did that give 8 sealed bricks per? It did, yes. Use these granite bricks, which I made. They look good, they don't. Yeah, the problem is, the parts of it that do look good, like this smooth granite, is a physics block. Which is very annoying. I understand why it's a physics block. It's so that you can't just use the chisel in a mine to chisel the ceiling so that it won't collapse. But, you know, I still wish it wasn't. Table salt. Yeah. I'm gonna have to go into the lag room of death, which is my ore processor, which is... I saw my frames dip earlier when I was walking across the diagonal bridge over there. That's because I was looking in the general direction of my tower of 16 centrifuges. I'm gonna moonwalk over here towards it so that it doesn't completely ruin the recording. But yeah, I need to switch those out for GregTech centrifuges when I, hit electricity, because these create ones, oh boy, look at this. Or don't, because it's practically unwatchable. But it does look very cool, I think. Yeah, and that's not a shader problem. It's still 10 FPS, even with shaders. I mean, even without shaders. They're just not very lag friendly in existence. Here we go, here's some salt. Yeah, I have that ore processor that I built. I just finished it probably an hour ago, where it, grinds up all the ore, obviously, and then it washes it with 4 sets of 4 encased fans. If you didn't know, it's more efficient to use more encased fans than just to speed them up. Speeding up an encased fan doesn't really do much. I didn't find much difference between a 32 speed fan and a 256 speed fan, so I just run all of the fans at 32 speed, and they work great. Having 4 fans it does 16 items every 5 seconds, and there's 4 of them, so it's a stack every 5 seconds, and it's not a bottleneck compared to the rest of the factory. And then it's all ground up again, and then it's centrifuged, which is the lag tower of death, and then, from there it's either put directly into the GregTech super chests, which are great, very super, or smelted. And I also put all of the types of iron, which are still in my MEI here. I put those directly into a bloomery. I have a steam bloomery, which used to be right here. Yeah, because of the tree farm, I have infinite charcoal, so I just process all of it into wrought iron instead of having to deal with any cast iron at all. It does feel a little weird to be throwing wrought iron into a blast furnace, which is why I haven't done it yet, because it just sounds gross and wrong and wasteful. But, it's better to just have the iron processed all the way to the end automatically, I think. Okay, low mud is the floor of my... Oh, it's right here. Yeah, I could run a chimney here. I don't think that would look too terrible. This is where I used to stack up ingots before I got, all those bronze crates. Yeah, I could definitely run a chimney right here. That would look fine, I think. I already have a chimney here, actually. It's the forge chimney. If I was smarter, I would have counted how many ladders I just used, so I'd know how many chimneys I need. But I'm just gonna go ahead and make some. See how it goes. Just snap this entire stack into chimneys. Because I don't want it to just stop at the floor, I want it to also go up and meet the height of the crucible chimney, which I also need to move slightly because it doesn't actually work because it lets rain in, so I had to block it and then create just a little hole right there. Because the chimney for your crucible doesn't need to be right above it. In fact, it shouldn't be because it'll let rain in. The chimney should be next to it. I should probably turn off the shaders. I think it makes things look better, but my computer is not the greatest. I think probably FPS is more important for this than the shaders. So, hello, whoa, what's all this? Suddenly all my builds look awful. What happened? What do I need? Oh yeah, just the chimneys. Okay. Grab these. Incredible. Wait, is that actually on height, or are those slightly one off? I can't tell. I still can't tell. Wait. Looking at 92, looking at... Ah, no, it's one short. What can you do? Okay. I'll move the rest of them. I might add another one to that later. We'll see. That. It's vat of acid. Here we go. Ashtray down there. Already gave me one wood ash. Okay, yeah. Sure. Put this in, load it up. Nope. Out instantly? I would have expected this to work. I thought the chimney was the problem. Is it not? Wish I could turn off the helmet candle on this. I just wanted it for the drinking properties. Want to see fire in my field of vision at all times. Okay, let's try this one. You know, even if the chimney wasn't the problem, I think that I like the aesthetic of it going all the way from down here up through the porch of my steam hut and to meet with the other chimney. I think that's cool, and I'm going to keep it. But I hope this does actually solve the problem. Aha, yes. It wasn't cooking because it was not insulated. Okay, so I don't need to test that then. Alright. So with this oven hopper right here, I can, if I acquire some more item pipes. Thank you, brass plates. I should probably make some more brass plates. I'm out of brass. It's fine. This is probably enough item pipes. These are so much more convenient to use than create belts. Also have a much less chance to crash my game, even though they haven't yet, unlike create belts, which do not like me. Oh. Yeah, these are the shafts for the create machines inside the Steam Workshop. But that's fine. I can just dig out another line right here. I don't know how I'm going to edit this video. In the past I used Windows Movie Maker to edit my videos, but they seem to have updated the program in the, I don't know, like 10 years since I used it. And, ow. It's kind of bad now. It has like a bunch of features behind a paywall and also causes immense lag. Okay, what? Come on. I'm gonna die doing this. Okay, well. Anyway, Windows Movie Maker. Why? Can you not sneak? Is that why I keep falling? You can't shift on these blocks? They don't care. I gotta get over to the support part of this, and then I'll put on there. Here we go. Jeez. Yeah, I don't think that shifting works on those. Okay. I don't know how important marking the arrows is on GregTech pipes, if you actually need to mark the entire thing all the way like this. But that's what I've been doing the whole time for every pipe that I make. So oh man, just a few short. But yeah, the idea of rushing into tiers, like just trying to get to LV, you know, just to get to LV, that doesn't interest me at all. I don't really care about progression for progression's sake. I care about progressing to get access to, you know, certain... Is this on or not? Yeah. Certain blocks and items that I want, like, especially I want that, that LV super chest. For 4 million instead of 10,000, I mean, that is quite the upgrade. Nope. But, you know, just going into tiers just for the sake of, you know, getting to the next tier, I don't care. I don't even kind of care. Here we go. Do you work? Do you work? No? You don't work? Did I mess up the arrows on this? How would I even check? I grabbed the right line, right? Like, that actually is the wood line. Yeah, that's the wood. Ow. What I was talking about earlier a little bit is, you know, if you like watching those kinds of videos where the person, you know, goes through all the tiers of GregTech all the way to the end and then beats the pack, I don't think this is really the series for you. I mean, I'll get there eventually. I have no plans to stop playing this, but it's gonna be a while. I'm in no hurry. Why is this not working? That's why. Yeah, it's gonna be a while. I'm in no hurry. I'm not, you know, rushing things any quicker than I need to be. I wouldn't be surprised if in like a year I'm only on MV. And yeah, especially I'm not in a hurry because the pack isn't even done yet. I'm definitely not going to do these tiers that aren't done until they are. I mean, this is just... Yeah, this is unmodified base GregTech, which, again, I've never actually played, but if I wanted to, I would play a different pack. This is the Terrafirmagreg experience, not just the pure Greg experience. Yeah, all these arrows seem to be going in the right direction. Okay, yeah, this line seems... Ow. This is a death trap of an area. This is a good thing it's not a higher fall. Yeah, the line seems unbroken. I'm not sure what the problem is. Maybe I need to get it started. Get the first log in there for it to boot up. Be like, hey, I'm got logs. Hey, I'm logging here. Spacing the wrong way, maybe? Didn't it say... Can also be fed via automation from other mods. So I guess my question is it a pipe issue or does it need to be accessed from the top? I really like this tools mechanic. I think it's cool. I was watching one of Hecuba's videos on GT&H, and he was saying, "Oh, you think you can just tear an ingot apart into nuggets with your bare hands? Who do you think you are?" And yeah, from the outside before I'd played Greg Tech, I thought the tools were stupid. You know, just adding worthless extra steps. But I think they're cool. Yeah, that all has to be done from the top. Okay, does the vat need insulation? Is that a requirement for it? I'm not sure. I'm gonna go around the back here. Yeah. Okay, I thought I was gonna fall again there. Yeah, this mining helmet does not seem to affect create shafts. Why is this one 127? I think I must have the rotation speed controller set to like 254 instead of 256. But I don't even know which one that is. Wrench. Right, yep. Top. Oh, I forgot the arrow. Yeah, I don't know if you actually need to arrow these all the way, but I have been doing it, so I keep doing it. Yep, that works. Alright, I light this up, and it should be burning forever now. Nope, don't boil my pickaxe. Okay, so there's 2 sides exposed on this, so that has to be the top. So I can't really do anything about that, unfortunately. I don't... Oh, damn, that's exactly what I was trying to avoid. Oh, I've never had a cave in here before. Wow, okay. Need to repair this wood line immediately. I can't remember if the boiler is on right now or not. And if it is... yeah, lack of water is going to be a large problem. There's too many pipes. I'm still missing a spot. Here it is. Okay, water line is back intact. There we go. That all seems good now. And one of the problems with the cave-in early game is that the wooden supports don't go high enough to reach the blocks that are now exposed because the ceiling fell in. And these ones all the way up here. But I don't think that's a problem with the concrete supports. These aren't strictly necessary, or really doing much of anything at all, but I like the aesthetic, so I'm gonna put it back. Like I was saying earlier, this is Minecraft, yeah, this is what it's all about. 0 SU consumed. Yeah, okay, here we go, this is the problem. Found it. Okay, so this is boiling and whatnot. Does it work with no sides? Will it still boil before I set up all this redstone and stuff? Yeah, that'll still boil stuff. Okay. Okay, so the general idea is to make a super tank, which I will filter to accept only vulcanized latex, and I'll just try and pump everything out of the vat. And if it is vulcanized latex, then it will go in the super tank, and if it isn't, then it will just stay in the vat, which is regular latex to be, you know, boiled. The only thing I can't quite figure out is exactly how I will know, when to run the boiling cycle, like, when to reclose the lid, because it has to be done with redstone. I don't know if there's a way to detect if it's done, or, maybe to just... Well, actually, I might have just thought of a way. I don't want to do a timer. A timer would work, but I don't think that timers are very reliable. Even if I was to, take measurements and try and figure out exactly what the amount of ticks it's supposed to take is, I just don't like timers. I prefer sensors. So, yeah. I think if I take a comparator output, with this comparator I have spare from the centrifuge thing, if I take a comparator output of the vat, then normally it will read the amount of items that are in the vat, which would normally be 64, which is the stack of sulfur powder. But when it's finished boiling, then it will have only 54 sulfur powder, because it only boils 10 buckets at a time, which will cause a drop in the comparator signal, which I can detect to close it again. So it'll be like a slight flicker between when it opens and when the item pipe will put the sulfur powder back in, like the rest of the sulfur powder. That's the idea. I don't know if it'll work, though. I have not tested anything in creative. I think that's lame. I might change that opinion when I get into more ridiculously complicated things that have a high chance of literally blowing up in my face and losing hours of work. But at this very moment, I think creative is lame. Well, creative for testing, that is. Just building things in there, that's fine. In this house, we test in production. Ta-da. Okay. So then I think I'll put this up above, and then the pump goes into there. Hopefully that can just pump straight out like that, I'm not sure. And I want to filter this to be vulcanized latex. Yep. Yeah, one of these two sides is where the latex will enter. Yes. And so I guess my question is, I know in vanilla you can take a comparator output through a block, but that's supposed to be a solid block, which I'm not sure the oven chimney is. And it does not appear to be, so oh, well, there's no items in there. Yeah, okay. So it doesn't read the liquid level. Or the item level. What if I have it close? Does that give off anything? What if it was... What if it was actively doing a recipe? Would it then give off a signal? No, it would not. What if instead of trying to measure the vat, what if I tried to measure the super tank to see, if there was anything in it, or if there was anything in the pipe passing through? Because if there's anything in the pipe, then I could start a short timer, which wouldn't be relying on the timer itself. Just give it a second to get all of the latex out, and then once the timer's finished, probably like 1 second, seal the lid back. What if I was to do that? So do super chests give off? No? Really? There's something like a redstone upgrade or something. That's Greg. Is that activity status? Assembler. Of course, they're all assembler. Gives out fluid amount as redstone. Yeah, that requires the assembler and LV. Huh. That is an idea. I could use the super tank still as a filter, and then pipe it out of this super tank into, say, a drum. Does a drum put off a redstone signal? Still no. Why does nothing work with the comparator? Can just a standard create tank give off a redstone signal based on okay. Nope, not my water drum. This latex. Yes. Will you? Haha! Yes! Yes, okay. This will do. This will do. Found something. So then I want you to auto output to the right, or to the left, into that tank, which will then, I need some blocks to build this on. Hold on. Learned from greatest Minecraft YouTuber ever, Etho, never build your redstone on random blocks because you will forget when mining around and break your stuff. Here we go. Marble tile. Okay, so this pulls out of the vat, and it will only be able to pull out the vulcanized latex because everything else is filtered. Now there's nowhere to go. And then that will immediately push into this fluid tank. So, comparator goes there. Bring the signal down. How do I bring this down? Well, how does this... Can this be placed on like walls and stuff? Oh, it's already going. 1 hour. No. Does this not do what I thought it would do? So, here, and then redstone dust, pulse timer. After 3 seconds... Ow. You go there, so that might work. Okay, wait. Oh, what? Why did you close? Oh, because that's still in there. That's still in there. Nope. Not going around. Not going all the way around. So, then I will stick that there. You'll face down into the final super tank. Haha. And that also leaves the back to export from while still looking good. You know, right here in this space that I'm trying to fit it in for some reason, even though I have all this room. Don't ask me why, I don't have an answer. Where are the chunk borders? I keep forgetting to check chunk borders. This is very important in Greg Tech. I have been extremely lucky. I don't think it really matters for this, but yeah, it's fine right here. Probably just got a boiler and steam engine. It's probably the easiest way to get power to right there. Or is it? Hold on. Yeah, one of these, this one right here, only ever uses 64 SU, even at max speed, which means it has 64 stress units available that I could steal from my own evil deeds. Did I say could? I think I meant am going to. That's 127, 128, 64. Hello. Nice to meet you. Yeah, I have all these excess gearboxes from when I was making my the ore processor. I was trying to power the entire thing on passive power. I had solar steam boilers, which worked fine, and I was doing water wheels for everything. But, you know, at the scale I was making it, it gets ridiculous at a certain point. I have... my river is just overflowing with water wheels right now. And I needed to make 16 more for the centrifuge thing, and I need 8 more for the vibrating tables. And it's just a ridiculous amount. I mean, they aren't hard to make. It's just the setup and all these shafts going everywhere. This is ridiculous. This is absurd. What am I doing here, man? Yeah, that seems pretty fast. I don't think I need a rotation speed controller. So if I throw in the sulfur powder and some latex, just say go, it's gonna happen. What happened? Oh, I got vulcanized latex right there. Can that not... Yes, what exactly is happening here? Could... say... something like this. Could this work? Maybe it's just you can't extract from the side. I mean, you just can't extract from the top. Okay. That's inconvenient. That is inconvenient. Okay, how do I actually get some cogwheels onto this thing? Well, that was easy. No, it wasn't. It doesn't connect there. Of course not. Why would it? How many cogs do I have left? 1 cog. That there. I don't know, just two gearboxes. Does that not connect? It's not connected there, no. Right, I want a regular gearbox. I want you to be a regular, and I want this one to be vertical. Does it matter which direction these spin? Don't you just set it based on the pump itself? I think. I have no idea. Wait, what am I doing? That isn't gonna work. Oh, no. Oh, well, we'll see how it goes anyway. Okay. Yeah, that's pumping it. Pretty slow though. Yeah, I should grab a big gear so I can rotation speed controller that. Okay, iron, yay! Yeah, I've done this so many times. I'm not even looking at anything, I can just do this. I have this memorized, it's not a point of pride, it's a scar. It's a scar of the anvil. I misclicked! No! Yeah, it is technically possible to fix errors like this on the anvil, but I don't bother, I just grind it down. It turns into wrought iron dust and smelt it back into a wrought iron ingot. I guess I'd put it here? Vertical gearbox. That goes into there. And then I expand the ceiling. There's the gear itself. Just tried to shift wrench the stone like it was a create block. Alright. How fast can this go? 64, no. 48, still no. What are we at? Let's see. Oh wow. 32? Yes, 32. Cool. I think it's 8 times faster. I think it was running it 1/8 that speed. Alright. Nope. Yeah, show me this working. I think I might need more time. Getting the latex actually over here from all the way away. Very far away actually. Incredibly far away, really. Prohibitively far away. Well, it's not gonna move itself. Well, it will actually when I'm done with it. But right now, it's not gonna move itself. Okay, we got the chain conveyor setup working. There's a frog port down in the tree farm basement that sends a package every 6 seconds. Unfortunately, I wasn't recording when I first built this and didn't have a timer on it. There were just packages everywhere, just circling, because this frog port has some sort of a delay on it. And now it's time to put the latex, the sulfur powder in. I'm hoping I can just hopper it. No. Yeah, I wasn't able to pipe it in the crate pipes or the GregTech pipes either. So I might need to... I have just a super tank right here just outputting straight down. I might need to see if I can do that with a super chest as well. No. Well, that's bad. Yep, that's what I want. And stick a quick gearbox on this to siphon some power. From there to there. Will you pick up sulfur powder off the belt and stick it in the vat? Should have placed it down closer. Ah. No, it won't. Okay. I guess I could try a deployer. Okay, I give it the sulfur powder. And it's in, alright. What if there is already some in there, and then it's given more? What is that going to do? It just adds it. Okay. Here's a question. What if it is sealed and boiling, and I hand it some sulfur powder? Nothing happens. That's great. Okay. So this can just run continuously. Okay, so there's a slight problem right here in that if there's no sulfur in hand, then it will take sulfur out of the vat, which will lead to no batch being performed unless no latex coming out, unless that'll break the circuit back there. So what I'm installing here is something to check if there is any sulfur in reserve. Just any sulfur will do. Any at all. And yes, that will require a little bit of sulfur to be held just in these crates right here, but that's a constant amount. It's just an investment into the system itself. And then once it's out, it won't push the deployer anymore, which will mean it won't take stuff out, and it'll work just fine. So I did the math. It was a lot easier once I wrote it down. And one rubber ingot will cost 1 3/16 of sulfur. The 3/16 is that goes into the vat. So how exactly I'm going to split that up, no idea yet. But what I do know is that I can't make another macerator because that requires a raw diamond, which I don't have because I processed all of my raw diamond into actual diamonds in my fancy new ore processing setup. So that may have been a mistake. So I'm going to use just a steel millstone instead because I do have that, and I don't feel like going mining right now. Need more chutes. Always need more chutes. Okay. So the other machine I will be needing is another alloy smelter, which, yeah, that's not bad. Just need 5 plates, 3 bricks. There you go. Should get rid of that sticky resin. There we go. Okay, and then 2 black steel rods and 10 alloy pipe. I think I made more 10 alloy plates earlier. I did, yes. Okay. And what is that? That's 2 iron, 3 steel. It's 2 iron and 3 steel. Okay, so there is new alloy smelter. Yes. And I'll be needing another water wheel to power this millstone. This is gonna be a tall little thing right here. Then I put a chute and a millstone. And I've kind of run out of vertical space here a little bit, haven't I? I can item pipe into the side of the millstone, I suppose. Ow. Yes. I need another bucket of water for this water wheel. If you're living in a colder environment, put slabs in your water source and it won't freeze. Because waterlogged blocks can't freeze, it's only just water itself. Alright, yeah, I think I'll item pipe into the side of the millstone whenever I figure out how to split off 3/16 of a sulfur. I mean, a simpler problem than splitting off 3/16 of a sulfur is to send 1 here and 16 to the alloy smelter. So that way it's actually, you know, whole numbers. I think fractions is basically impossible. But I guess I could use 2 brass funnels, because those have a setting of how many items to output. 2 funnels. I set this one to exactly 1, and this one to exactly 16. And then I have a chute on this vault, and an input. Yeah, so I think that this will divide it into the correct ratio. If I put, I don't know, something in there. That is a problem, yeah. So it works so long as there is enough items, but the last few, if there's less than 17 in storage, then it will break. Because then this one will just start filtering every single item out one by one. So what I need is a redstone check on the vault. I think there's a thing for that. Some sort of a sensor. I think it's from... is it Crafts? No, it's one of the Create add-ons adds. Or it might not be an add-on even. I don't know. So there's something that adds... Is it a threshold switch? Yes, this is it. This is it. Goes right here. Filter with item. Okay. So... power on when there is less than or equal to 16, yes. So there seems to be at least 17 items in there. And power off when there are 17, yeah. That, I think, should do it. Just need to wire this. Are you not outputting? Where does this thing output its signal from? Oh, do I have to specifically mark it? Power on when less than 16 items. Yes. Does it come out the side like this? Yes, it does. Okay. Yeah, so it's soft power. It doesn't power into blocks. That makes it slightly more annoying to wire. For sure. First to put that here. Does that just turn into that? No, it doesn't. I can put it... There we go. Doesn't need to be good right now, it's just a proof of concept. So that powers both funnels, which now won't function. So if I put in sulfur dust, then it all goes out. In here there's none, and in there there is 51. How did that happen exactly? What? Yeah, this pack has some pretty aggressive lag reduction mods. I think one of those is what's getting me here. So you are set to exactly 1. Alright, let's try this again. Even from over there, they're still stacking. I guess instead of funnels, I will use smart chutes. I think those have the same settings, but won't make the items exist physically. Yeah, exactly 1 and exactly 16. Alright, let's try this. No, shut them all out again. What? What is your problem? Yeah, that'd do it. If I just completely forget to move the line, that would cause it to stop working for sure, yeah. Okay. 48 and 3. Yep, that's the ratio. I think this will work. So I've installed the design down here now, and I realized I was doing the ratio wrong in the test version, so it's corrected here. It's 3 and 16. And I also added in a failsafe over here with 2 more threshold switches. What this does is they each scan these chests to see what's in them, and this will hold a buffer to make sure that it doesn't distribute at an uneven rate. Because previously, if one of these had become backed up, then the other would just keep going, and the ratio would get out of whack. But now that's fixed with these threshold switches. So I just need to install the mill, or the power for the mill, that is, which I appear to be out of gears. It's not good. I didn't even know that it could do that. What? It can evaporate the water? Wow, okay. Is that new? Did they add that? Huh. Okay, yeah, there's, yeah, I had a few mistakes. But those are, oh, 2 of the exact same mistake, apparently. Yeah, those are just, the macerator. Okay. Certainly enough gears now. Okay, so with the vulcanized latex, the next step is to put it in the pressurizer. For this I have this smart observer which can detect when there is vulcanized latex in the basin, which is what I use to toggle the blaze burner, so it's not just burning fuel constantly. I mean, the fuel is fully renewable, but I only have a limited bandwidth of it, so I want to make sure that I'm using it where it's necessary. Only using it when it is necessary. So the vulcanized latex will come out of the super chest, across that pipe, over to over here. Yeah, and then on down to the basin. Good, yep, that lights up. Okay. I tested it, it does not light up when I put in this water, so it is detecting the specific fluid. Yes. And then I'm going to need a... I think I'll need a steam engine for this, because... Well... Yeah, I want it to be running at maximum speed. Okay, what do you report as the capacity or nothing? I have to fuel it first, don't I? Yeah, I think I have to fuel it first. I think there's some water? Nope. You know, I guess this can't explode. That's nice to know. Don't make the mistake with a Greg check machine. Right, yeah, okay. I think I am going to tear this all down right here for the mill. I'm going to power the mill using the same steam engine. I'm going to use this water wheel for a pump instead. That sounds good, I think. Because the pump power should be passive, otherwise it can, you know, run out. Build up a quick infinite source for said pump to draw from. Just gonna borrow that water for a quick second. Let's back up. Alright. Need a pump. Yeah. There we go. Pump that way. Rotation speed controller. Gear there. Wait, with this. Not quite, no. Okay, so gearbox here. Steel shaft. And another steel shaft. And yeah, cogwheel here, and then I'll move the pump to be right there. Okay. And you are transferring into this pipe. Alright. Alright, what are you doing? What is your deal? 0. Really? 0? Boiler status idle? Oh, is it because I didn't... Still 0. Does this require it to be at least 2x2? I think it might, yeah. I think 2x2 seems to be the minimum for this. Okay, I can do that. Just like that. And then I throw on a steam engine and what do you say? Okay. 256 for one engine. So that's 128 for each. Yeah, that will do just fine. I think that could work. Steam engine here. And then... break out the ceiling a little bit here. Shaft there, so that... it's spinning that way. Yeah, that'll do, that'll do. If I put a shaft here and a there it is, a vertical gearbox right here, then I can put down a gear right there. And I believe that should work. Right, I need to rotation speed controller it. Of course. So I put that right there. And then I put in the big gear. And actually, I think this still works. Just need to rotate it again. So, stick this on maximum speed. Oops. No, not that. No. I need to lift this all up by 1. So you go there instead. And that stays there. And that goes there. Yeah, for sure, for sure. Alright, I break this and move it over there. I put the pipe back where I originally had it. And then steam engine right here. Facing the correct direction. Add maximum speed. Please work. Yep, works great. So I'm down here. Yeah, those are close enough together, I think. So I got the depot there. Take, give. And yeah, slap it down right there. Okay. And then I need some charcoal. So I need to access the charcoal line. I'm going to un-arrow these so I can take out the other side. That's a ways over there. Oh, come on, you can do it. Perhaps, you know, I mean... Could happen, could happen. Can you... Okay, wait a second. That doesn't actually work, does it? I need... Yeah, they need to go into a chest. Into a funnel. Alright, you go into there. Into the depot and flip it. Can't actually open that chest, but I think it's still working. Yeah, it's still working. Okay, take, give. Throw it down? Yeah, okay. Good enough. Oh, hello. Like this, okay. This is using 20 stress units, it says. Yeah. Cool. So how much can I crank this by? I don't think it goes fast. By 24? Yeah, that'll do. I want to keep it on even numbers. I think it might be slightly buggy if it's not. Oh, hey, look at that, it's going. Okay. How much have you got stored up in there? Yeah, that's getting a nice buffer going. So... to power that, which powers this, which powers that, which powers that. That propagates the signal down and inverts at the same time. I didn't need this red alloy wire at all. Okay. Now I need the alloy smelter, and I was originally going to use this small alloy smelter right here, but the problem are these slots, because they're not locked at all. So if I pump in too much of one ingredient, it'll just both fill up. They'll both be sulfur, they'll both be rubber, and then it's done. So I have to create some kind of a system like this thing to put in the correct ratio. But I think it would be easier and more reliable to just, you know, make a big one, or use the big one that I already made by accident a while ago when I was trying to make a multi-block furnace. This is a multi-block alloy smelter, and I think it'll do just fine. Where's the rubber recipe? Not you, no. The regular rubber recipe. There it is, yep. So with this I can make two input hatches, and I can just put sulfur in one input hatch and the rubber in the other input hatch. And that's that. There's no chance of them getting mixed or anything like that. Okay, so it's just built up like that. I think I can put the hatches anywhere I want. So I'm going to put the input buses right next to each other right there, and the output bus right over here. Actually, I could make this a little cleaner if I just run them all along the back. Is that... wait. Yeah, that's right, okay. And then it's that thing on top, and of course a hole in the middle. There's always a hole in the middle. Structure incomplete because I haven't decided where I'm going to put this yet. I'll just put it right here just to make sure the rest of it works. Structure incomplete. That's not good. That's not good at all. Can I not do double inputs on this? Oh no. No, no, no. Don't do this. Don't do this to me. Oh, you're kidding. You're kidding. No. Hmm. Pipe in the bottom. And another chute. Alright, can you put things in there? No. Hold on. These item pipes could sometimes be a little buggy when I first hook them up. No, it can't accept that on the bottom. Okay, it also couldn't accept the water on the bottom. Okay, so I need to do threshold switch on bottom then. Yeah, oh, yeah, okay. Threshold switch on bottom, set to rubber, and now that will light up. whenever there's rubber in it, right? Not buckets, no. Huh. So, big gear there, rotation speed controller right there, which will be powered by metal pipe falling sound effect, I guess. That there, and I need you to turn to right there. Good. Okay, and I need 2 more fluid pipes. Reuse the same depot for this. Take from there and put there. Just throw it down like right there. Yep, that seems to work just fine. Okay, I need to lower the speed controller back here slightly. From 24 to, I don't know, maybe 16? What are you at? Yeah, that's fine. Okay. Why aren't you doing anything? There it is. Okay. And then I crank that. Nope. Saw can only run at half speed on steel. That's interesting. Okay. Alright. Running at maximum there. Then I need to figure out something to trigger whether or not this mechanical arm should even be operating at all, because again I have just a limited throughput of charcoal. So this steam super tank will go right here. No, it won't, because it can't output into 2 sides at the same time. And of course this needs to reach both. Yes. So I suppose I'll put the steam super tank, let's say right here, and then the boiler will output directly into said super tank, which I'll go ahead and filter. Oh, there's regular steam. Auto output in the back, which it already was. There we go. Mark the arrows. And then this machine will need a steam exhaust, which I'm going to point downwards to there. Okay, so this is now filling up with water, and I need to do a quick batch craft of more wood pipes. Happy birthday to me. It has begun to snow, but, what's the snow doing exactly? Why is it avoiding the bridge? Oh. Okay. Thank you, snow. Have a nice day. Oh no, it's doing it here too. Whoa. Okay, more wood piping acquired, so I need to figure out the exact writing of this. Where did I put the... I put it in the center, okay. Just want to connect these 2 underground sections for ease of use. There we go. Alright, now this line goes all the way back here. That is the boiler. To make sure and leave that vent unblocked. I don't think it needs any more space than just 1 block. And I don't want to have these pipes touching as little as possible, so I'm going to have it curve out a little bit before I bring it to the center. then forward. Okay. Cool. How much creosote is it using? 250 every 9 seconds? I think I'm making more than that, so I still need to implement some sort of avoiding method on here, even with that. Yeah. How much does a liquid boiler make? 30. I think the compressor alone uses 32. So that's why I have this buffer here. Okay, so do actually need a way to get stuff out of the compressor. That's kind of important. It's shocking, I know. Shocking to me, apparently. Okay. Output to the side. And then put a block there so I don't accidentally walk into it like an idiot. Because I would. I absolutely would. That's something I would do. Pretty large bottleneck, I think. Yeah. Oh! Okay. I forgot that was a Steam, yeah. Huh. So, this one, you send down exactly 3. Yes. And you send down exactly 1. And all of that gets pulled out of there and pushed into here. Yeah, that sounds right. Okay. And the condition for that is that this vault is empty. So if there's one thing in there, this will turn on and lock both of those. So that should only allow one set of items into the vault at a given time. Should I also do the hopper? Or should I do the hopper instead, actually? Maybe that would work better. If I have it scan on the hopper. So, yeah, because that would requisite the vault is empty for the hopper to be able to be empty, because otherwise things would be flowing into the hopper. Okay. Yeah, that'll work fine, I think. This does not work. So just keep putting stuff in forever and ever and ever. I think I do need to threshold switch on the buffer chest as well. Yeah. So I need a threshold switch here, which is set to inverted on 1, so there needs to be at least 1 sulfur in there. And then a second threshold switch. So if I put this right there, and I set this to 3. Yeah, it needs to be at least 3 to turn on. So now this should all lock. Except for when there's enough items in both chests. Is the threshold switch pointed at the wrong thing? Currently 1 items. Currently 102 items. Then why are you turning off? Is it because those wires aren't actually on there? No? Is it because they're both chests and it's just bugging out because it thinks they should be merged inventories? That could have been it, yeah. Okay. I forgot the funnel here. That's why that one's not working. Okay. That... still seems to be ratioing incorrectly. And now... with any luck at all, this... oh, this looks great so far. Hold on. I think the ratio is holding? Or is this now doing the thing? Yeah, that's now doing the thing. Okay, so I need a, I need a second, or I suppose a fourth smart shoot. Okay. Whatever. Just whatever, man. Hello, Rubber. Welcome to the party. Ow. Alright. Once more. Running this right there. Okay. How do you like that? It's so hard to tell if it's ratioing correctly or not. It might be, it also might not be. No, it looked pretty perfect there. Yeah, that's exact. You know what? I think it's working. Yeah, it's holding it. 3 pulp, 1 sulfur. 145. Okay. How does that look? Actually, yeah, that's about it. I have to walk all the way up there to see anything. Okay. That about does it, yeah. For the rubber sheet machine. Yeah, over here, that boils into vulcanized latex, and then new latex is pushed in, and also the sulfur powder is topped off from here. Then it's pushed into here, which is then moved all the way over here and is vacuumed into a repulp, which is then alloy smelted with sulfur over here, down into the compressor, and then over here to the saw to be cut into sheets. Thank you for watching my first Terrafirmagreg episode, and yeah, that's all. See you next time.